A Christmas Carol is a novel written by Charles Dickens in 1843. He was born in Portsmouth, in England, in 1812. Dickens did not have an easy childhood. When he was 12, his family was in a serious financial situation, and he was forced to work in order to pay off the debts of his father, who, in the meantime, had ended up in prison. Even after his release, his mother forces him to work, and it is in this way that Dickens will see the exploitation of minors, the brutality and the poor working conditions to which workers were subjected in England at the time. Experiences that will mark him forever and that will give rise to his literary masterpieces. His novels, in fact, are not invented, but tell that side of London that he experienced firsthand and that he knows well. A London dominated by injustice and deprivation. A London divided between exploitation and progress, misery and prestige. A Christmas Carol is undoubtedly one of the writer's best-known novels. The main character of the novel is old Scrooge Ebenezer, a stodgy old man unable to feel empathy for any person around him. After the death of his partner, Jacob Marley, Scrooge carries on their business, avoiding any human relationship. He refuses to celebrate Christmas. He considers it the bearer of idleness and a great waste of money. But on Christmas Eve, the ghost of his friend Marley appears to him. His appearance is horrible. He is chained and forced to drag around the weight of the chains he earned through his avidity and lust for money. Marley calls Scrooge and invites him to redeem himself in order to avoid his own hand, and that he will have only one chance to do so. In the following 3 days, 3 spirits will visit him: the spirit of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. The encounter with these 3 spirits will change Scrooge's soul and transform him into a new person. There are many film transpositions based on Dickens' novel, but the 2009 film, directed by Robert Zemeckis, A Christmas Carol, is one of the most faithful. Although this film sticks closely to the original, some differences are still detectable. The ghost of Christmas past manifests itself in the shape of a glowing-headed candle, while in the original story, it appears in human form, or almost. Another notable difference between the film and the original story is that in this phase of the story, the ghost of Christmas past carries Scrooge in flight over the city. Although suggestive, this image is not in the original story. On the contrary, Scrooge never flies in his travels and always walks alongside the ghost. Another difference is that of the ghost of the present. His representation is faithful to the original, but presents an additional characteristic: the continuous and insistent laughter. That is a characteristic that does not appear in the book, which, on the contrary, represents the spirit in a quite serious way. In addition, the entire sequence of Zemeckis' film, in which the ghost of Christmas future chases Scrooge in a black carriage drawn by spirited horses, is completely different from Dickens' story, and on the contrary, in the book, all the journey takes place in a calm and peaceful way. Another scene that differs from the book is when Scrooge reads his name on the gravestone in the cemetery and falls into the grave. Also in the original story, he reads his name, but afterwards he starts crying and takes the hand of the ghost and swears he wants to change his future. A Christmas Carol is a very important novel, especially for its meaning. The main theme that runs throughout the story is the meaning of Christmas, a holiday that brings people together and makes them better. This novel helped the readers of the time to find the Christmas spirit. that they had lost. And Dickens wrote this story with this very purpose, driven by the desire to raise people's spirits and wanting to bring positivity in a London dominated by exploitation and a total absence of Christmas spirit. It is precisely for this reason that Dickens is considered as the man who invented Christmas. At the time, Christmas carols already exist, but it was unusual to see them in the streets during Christmas holidays. Dickens brought back the Christmas spirit that had been lost for a long time, and A Christmas Carol had an extraordinary success. The selfishness, avarice, and meanness are some of the themes discussed in this novel. Through the life of the main character, Dickens wants to spread the message that even the saddest and most malevolent person can have a second thought and change, with positive actions, the course of his life. Dickens also tackles other social issues of his time, the condition of the poor, and the contrast between wealth and poverty. He deals with the theme of family, the renunciation of material goods, because they are not important in life. They only lead us to be selfish and greedy, just like Scrooge. I liked both the book and the movie very much, and I think that Zemeckis' film adaptation was able to fully represent what Charles Dickens told in the book. I think A Christmas Carol is a simple story for all ages. It is a short novel that everyone should read at least once in their life, that makes you stop and think, and that is why I chose this book. We all make mistakes. The important thing is to recognize it and try to improve ourselves through our actions and the way we relate to others. In fact, by improving ourselves, we will also improve others. And what is the best time to do this? Christmas, of course. That time of year when we rediscover those values that really matter: goodness and altruism. Dickens makes a critic, hidden underneath a short story based on Christmas. It is a novel of rebirth that shows how material wealth has no value if you are not rich in spirit. A novel that makes you understand how many times we do not appreciate what we really have because we are busy thinking about work and money, becoming stingy and losing the love and affection of loved ones, and we forget that the beauty lies in the little things. That's why I choose this book and why I really like it. I consider it a timeless classic, a novel that makes you think and shows that everyone can change, as Scrooge did, recognizing his mistakes, thinking about how he lost the love of his whole family because of his selfishness and trying to make up for it. Scrooge will end up loving Christmas and being a cheerful, altruistic person capable of appreciating the little things, a fundamental quality in the lives of people who nowadays, busy with work and thousand things to do, forget the true values, not realizing that what really matters in life cannot be touched. As Shakespeare said, we suffer a lot the few things we lack, and we enjoy too little the many things we have.